Welcome back to another episode of Producer Grind Podcast. Today we had Illmind on the episode. Super crazy, super informational, answers so many questions about what NFTs are and how us as a producer community can utilize NFTs and not be left out on this big hype, this big gold rush that is crypto and NFTs. Illmind talked about how the idea came about and what he thinks the future of dropping NFT sample packs and drum kits are. He also gave some big warnings if you're looking to do this on how to, stay safe and how to not flop. We also talk about strategies where if you're at ground zero and no one's going to come and buy your NFTs, we still talk about a way that you can kind of get the ball rolling and bet on yourself in the long term that could turn to be a big bag in the future, especially if you blow up. We talk about his new project with Guapdad. Super dope episode. I brought Leno and Meek with me as co-hosts today of this podcast. You guys know them from Team Producer Grind. Definitely want to stay tuned for this episode. You definitely want to tune in for the whole thing. A lot of good advice, a lot of gems. We had to do it, man. We had to get you on here. I know this is definitely not our first go around. We've done the come up story. We've caught back up with you on certain things, but man, we gotta talk about this NFT stuff because this is kind of it's taken over the world by storm. I feel like in a matter of 2 weeks, it's leaked over into the producer community already. You really pioneering it, being the first in the space to kind of just activate and drop a sample pack tied back to NFTs, and I want to talk about how that came about. But I think that the best way to really start this off is to kind of hear from you. If you could kind of explain to the people tuning in right now that they're like, NFT, what collectible? How is this? What if I screenshot it? Isn't this copywritten? Like, what's going on? So I'd love to hear the Illmind take on it. What exactly is an NFT?
Absolutely. So let me just preface by saying I'm not like a crypto counselor expert. So
Okay.
if anything I say moving forward comes across as investing or stock advice, it's definitely not that.
Okay.
All right. So moving forward, NFT basically stands for non-fungible token, and it's really just a fancy word to describe the technology behind authenticating something that's real, right? So it's very similar to when you go to Gucci, for instance, right? Whatever, I'll use Gucci. I have a Gucci hat, right? So when you go to Gucci and you walk into a Gucci store and you buy a hat, right? You're gonna pay a premium for it, but it's from the company, so it's from their factories. It's from their retailers. It's gone through all the proper channels and it's at one of their real stores. And it even down to like the receipt and like the envelope and the packaging and the box and all that stuff that's branded with it, you get to really experience it. It's an experience, right? Like when you walk into like a high-end luxury store, the customer service is spectacular because they know that you're potentially about to spend a lot of money. So, they're giving you champagne and you're sitting down on their like $50,000 plush velvet couches and they're like, "Do you need anything, sir?"
Right.
They're giving you an experience of you're important. We feel really great that you're here. So let's treat you with the utmost respect and honor. And I love that. And I was really inspired by that emotion and that feeling, right? This feeling of just intimacy and like we want you here and this is really important what we're doing. And so you're getting that experience. And when you wear a Gucci hat or you own something that's authentic, there's different ways that you can tell that it's authentic, right? Especially it's very easy when you have a physical product, right? If I put this hat side to side with a knockoff hat, there's differences that you can tell, right? The person who has the knockoff Gucci hat, they don't have the receipt. They don't have the right box. They might have a knockoff box, but it's not the same. It's not from the same printers. So they have something that looks like it, but it's not authentic. Now the question for a lot of years was, how can one authenticate a digital product, whether it's an MP3 or an audio or a song or a graphic or an animation? And so that's where NFTs come in, right? So with an NFT, basically what it does, I think people get confused about like how it authenticates. So I'll use the sample pack, for example, right? So I released Alorium sample pack, which is 10 loops, um, through Mintable, and it's blockchained. It's under the Ethereum network, and it's sold, and someone owns it. So what happens? The question is, well, what happens if someone else acquires the same file, which is basically a zip folder with the artwork and the stems in wave format and the MP3s. Like, what if that leaks? What if someone steals it? What if someone gets it? Blah blah blah. And that very well could happen. Like that can definitely very well happen with digital goods. So if that does happen, here's what happens. So here's where the NFT kicks in. So basically, let's say Leno, you purchased the kit and you own the authentic version,
Right.
and then let's say Dylan somehow got his hands on the same exact file, um, illegally, or somehow he has the same exact duplicate, right? And they're both the same. So the reason why Dylan's version is worthless is because Dylan has no way of proving that his version of the digital copy is the original and actually authentic, because there's no paper trail, no receipt proving in the court of law showing that Dylan's digital product is authentic,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So even though it's the same thing, it's not the real thing. And what constitutes something from being real and fake is some sort of paper trail that proves that you acquired that product through a process, and that process is winning an auction or spending your crypto on one of these websites like OpenSea, like Mintable, like all these Rarity, all these platforms now. And as soon as you acquire an NFT backed digital product on one of these and mint it on one of these authenticated, we'll just call them platforms, then you create a blockchain, you create um, a history in what's called a blockchain, which basically shows every single transaction uh, associated with that product. So, Leno, let's say since you have this sample pack that you purchased legit, and you have it and you own it, anyone can access the blockchain of
Right.
that product, and they can see the history. They can see that on February 16th you placed a bid for blah blah blah, and then you lost the bid, and then on February 28th you placed another bid, and then you actually won, and then the transfer of the token is now transferred to you, and that's all that information is in the blockchain. And it also shows all of the people that who bid on it. It shows when Illmind uploaded it and made it for sale, so you can track the information back to the original owner, right? What if it was Meek who somehow illegally, gained access to this pack and decided, let me just throw it up and sell it. It's really the Illmind pack. He left it. He left a hard drive at his studio, and I have it now, and I uploaded it. Well, you can see that Illmind did not upload it, right? And Illmind is not. It's not coming from the source, right? And so
There's that history.
that's what makes it not authentic, and that's what's going to turn people off to bidding on it and thinking that it's authentic when it's not. Why would anyone want to spend money on something that isn't authentic, right? And it's very important for the blockchain to be able to tell you where it came from, right? And so that's what makes it valuable. So Leno's version, even though Leno's and Dylan's version are exactly the same, Leno's version is going to be worth more, and Leno is going to be able to put it back up and resell it on one of these platforms because he has the blockchain authenticity and Dylan does not.
Gotcha. Okay. So I guess my first question is, with purchasing this pack, obviously they become the only person in the world that has the rights to use these loops in this pack, correct? Because it's a one of one.
Yeah, I mean, customizable, but yeah, according to the way I did it, yeah, that person has sole custody and sole, ownership of it.
Okay. So I guess the hardest question for me is, Leno buys this pack. He's the winning bidder. He pays $6,000. He cooks up a beat with every loop in the pack, and then he goes and sells the pack to me for $7,000. Is he able to send those beats out, or did he lose the rights to send those beats out when he sold the pack?
So that's where it gets complicated and confusing and a little
Yeah.
gray. So here's a solution to that. So it for this particular example, the sample pack example, Leno has a sample pack. There's 10 loops, 10 Illmind loops that he gained complete rights to. So there's two different ways that Leno can monetize, and he can't do both. Okay. So the first option to monetize this pack is what you said, Dylan. He makes beats, he makes 10 different beats from them, and then he shops them off and sells them maybe on BeatStars, or maybe gets a big placement with one of them, whatever it is. And that's how he's able to flip his investment into into gaining a profit, right? Through the producer method, the way that we all have been trained to do it. Now, the minute that he does that, he's no longer able to take this same file and transfer the rights to another person, because it's almost like it's almost like this. It's almost like owning the Mona Lisa painting and then like cutting off like the top right corner of it and then like placing it on another canvas and painting around it and doing something else and saying, well, it's from the real thing, right? But there it is. But like, here's what's left over. It's a little tainted and you might have issues clearing this. It's not, it's there, but like, you can't really use it the way it was intended to be used. So here it is at your own risk, right? So you can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too, right?
Gotcha.
So you're either gonna collect these NFTs to use them, or you're gonna collect them to flip back into the market and make a profit in the market, right? And the reason why this is such a groundbreaking new thing is because you weren't able to do that with baseball cards. I can't take a collectible, basketball card, and like the only way I can profit off of that is to hold it and maybe resell it on an auction or resell it to someone who's willing to pay more, and then I make the profit off the difference. There's literally zero other ways. Like I can't take that card and like manipulate it into something new and then inject it into another matrix to try to make profit in a different way, because it's a piece of cardboard. So that's what makes the sample pack so insane, is because we're literally entering new territory where we're dealing with music rights. We're dealing with the potential of taking this audio and manipulating them into new products, and that's why this is so new and fascinating and groundbreaking and really interesting.
It definitely is, bro. How did you even get into all this, like NFTs, and how were, like, it seems like you kind of have been ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I mean, for a few years now, I've really been, like I said, I've been putting a lot of energy into the one-on-one experience, right? Like if you look at what I've been doing since 2000, probably since like 2011, I would say. As the years go by, the stuff that I've been doing has become tighter and tighter and tighter, right? It started off as scale, right? Let me release a drum kit to everyone at a low price point, scale. Let me start a podcast and try to get it on every single platform, scale, right? So the name of my game back then was create product and try to get it to every single human being on earth.
Right, because you're trying to get that bag.
Yes. And then as the years go by and as my brand starts to get stronger and I start to be more in tune with my tribe, right, so to speak, then the experience started to get more intimate, right? And then it was 2014, it was, or 13, it was Illmind Platinum Club, exclusive club, right? And then it started to get smaller and smaller. Here's limited drum kits, right? Here's 50 copies of a sample pack, digital sample pack, and once those 50 are gone, then I'm no longer selling it, right? So things became a little bit more exclusive over time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Twitch, right? Subscribers only. Get to, if you're a subscriber to my channel, you get to do this. If you're a special VIP member, you get access to this, right? And then it was eBay. One person bid on this pack. Fuck it. Like if this thing sells for $50, then hey, it's yours. Like that's a super steal. But who knows? And I honestly, like, I really, really thought that it would only sell for like less than 100. Like I was
Wow.
prepared.
Wow.
I was prepared to take that L, guys. Like I haven't told people this yet, but I was prepared to be the guy who puts out all these great packs and oh, he's like a this and he's got samples here and drum kits, blah blah blah, platinum producer. But like he auctioned a pack and no one was willing to pay more than $100 for it. Like I was ready to wear that badge on my shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I want to
So
highlight that risk, man, because like for your brand perception, you got people that are already buying packs from you. If they see like, damn, Illmind flop, like are people really wanting to use his sounds? Like maybe I should stop buying. Like that's a big risk.
Yeah. Exactly. And I was ready to take that L on my chest. You know what I mean? That's why like people get on me like, oh, Illmind talks this shit. Yeah, like I'm happy to take my L's, but I'm also happy to take my dubs too. You know what I mean? Like when you see me get a W, like I'm screaming this shit from the top of the mountain. You know, do not get it, because I know what it took to get there and I knew the risk. So so then the eBay thing happened and it went the opposite way. It was hugely successful. And now here we are, 2021. We're in the NFT world, the digital world, and now sort of I feel like the sky's the limit. I feel like now we can get really creative, and it's really interesting what's happening in the market right now because I'm seeing a lot of sample packs, I'm seeing a lot of drum kits being released, and I think the energy is great. I think it's amazing that producers are starting to engage in the space and start to invest and experiment. And I think that's what we need. Like we, as a community, we need to progress and try things. The thing I'm seeing that could be potentially dangerous is the expectation level of a lot of people. Right. I'm seeing a lot of producers and musicians and even artists. They're uploading and minting NFTs and audio and sample packs and drum kits. And although a lot of these and some of these could be amazing, right? How can you get people to care enough? And that's it just goes back to just the good old square one of how do you get people to care to buy a product? And it's really no different than NFTs, right? Just because you slap it on a network doesn't mean that it's cool enough for people to want it.
Yeah.
And it's scary because I'm starting to see literally hundreds of new drum kits and samples and beats every day. And although it's amazing, 99.9% of them are just not going to sell, right? Like I saw one instrument. It was just like an instrumental. It was a beat, and like the starting bid was like $5,000, and I'm like, what? How like who? How are you gonna? How can you justify the value of that?
Yeah.
You know,
That's cap.
like yeah, it's like, and I understand it, but it's just not. It's just you have to. Part of it is just the going back to the essence of sales, right? It's like I'm not gonna like be this new person and put out this product and like expect that I can charge a premium for it because I don't have the history to back the reasoning of why someone would want to pay a premium. So I think that's the important thing for us to remember as a community is why are we charging this much? Why is it a premium? And if it isn't a premium, then what can I do to make this feel authentic and feel like a premium? That's not easy. That's not easy. I mean, look, I'm damn near 20 years deep in this, like, and I'm not even the biggest producer, right? And I'm doing this. So like, if Illmind auctions off a pack for 6K, chances are you're not going to sell yours for 6 either, like in that way, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough, but I think we have to all remember that as a community is this is still basic sales. We still have to get people to care, and we have to be creative with it, and we can't just willy nilly post up a drum kit for even $500 drum kit. Like who's going to pay $500 for a drum kit when I have no idea what you are, who you are, why I should do this, and how do I know this is worth 500? Like what kind of history do you have to put that much value on this product?
Yeah. No, definitely, bro. To me, I've taken this, and I'm real interested in the art side of it, like like the people flipping these art pieces and giving away collectibles, and you can do lots of dope things, like we're gonna mint beat battle trophies. So when when not only when you win our battle, do you get the prizes that come with it, but you're also going to get like maybe we'll mint, like say we do like 15 battles in 2021, so we'll like battle trophy series 2021 1 of 15, and you could be
Yeah,
one of the producers, and every year, and then 10 years down the line, who knows how much those trophies are from the people that won the first battles. And I think there's
yeah,
a lot of dope use cases in here, man. I've seen.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing with my Twitch channel. Like everything's minted. After when I come back from daddy duty in a couple months, I'm taking like a couple months off. But
Oh
when I'm
wow.
back, yeah, it's like stuff like that you can do. Like you don't have to always sell stuff. Like you can mint
Hmm.
things that have meaning. I think what I want people to understand about the space is, as long as there's meaning to something, that's what makes it valuable. Like we make something valuable. Like a Michael Jordan rookie card is literally a piece of cardboard that costs 5 cents to make,
Right.
right? But people, we put the value on it because it has meaning, because it's so rare, because there's a story behind it. And as long as you can portray some type of like deep meaning in what you're doing, and people could relate to that, enough people could relate to that and want and are willing to pay for it, then you're good. You're in the works, right? Like I kind of also see parallels in like the real estate game too. Like years ago, no one wanted to live in Brooklyn, right? Like Brooklyn's like, oh, Brooklyn, New York. Like, what, are you crazy? Like, who wants to live there? Brownstone. You have 4 bedroom, six bedroom, 3 bath, 3-story brownstones in Brooklyn in 2006 cost probably $250,000, which was a steal, right? Maybe 150,000.
Wow.
And the reason why it was so
Steal.
low, yeah, and the reason why it was so low is because like no one wants to live in Brooklyn, right? Like who wants to live there? But then now in 2021, that same brownstone goes for 4.8 million.
That's insane. Yeah.
It's the same brownstone. It's got the same concrete and the same rocks, and it's made of the same shit. But the story behind it is that the experience is better. Brooklyn is just cool. Brooklyn, people want Brooklyn. People want to live in Brooklyn. And so the price goes up because there's someone out there willing to pay 4.8, right? If as long as there's someone out there willing to pay, then that's what gives it the value, right? So for the Alorium pack, for instance, there might have been someone out there willing to pay, but at that moment, no one else who was aware of the pack, who have Ethereum crypto, no one on the planet Earth was willing to pay more than 6K for that pack at that moment, right? I can't say the same about the aftermarket. I mean, there's a chance that the owner will be able to flip it and make even more, right? Because there's probably other people. As more people start to migrate into NFTs and crypto, there's going to be more customers, more people that are more chances of someone to being willing to pay for that much, right? And I see Alorium pack reselling more and more and more over the next few years, and it's just going to keep shooting up and up and up and up and up. And so whoever gets it, my piece of advice would be, don't use the samples, hold it.
Sit out, like you. It's like a box of unopened. It's like you didn't open it. So that's the analogy right there.
As soon as I open, like, this is kind of a bad example, but like as soon as you take your new J's
And you wear them.
out of your box and you wear them, the price starts depreciating.
Yeah,
right. In
that
fact,
makes sense.
yes, right. So it's the same with the sample packs.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that analogy. Quick question, Illmind, you holding that Ethereum, or did you trade it? Trade it for US
Oh, I'm
dollar?
holding.
You hold it. Okay, bet.
I hold it for life, man. I'm holding it for a long time. I'm definitely a hold. What do they say? Like HOLD?
Hodl or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
hodl. Yeah, I'm a hodl. I'm a hodl.
Let's go. Dope. Man.
But shout out to all the people who day trade too, because that takes a lot of patience,
Right.
Yeah.
skill,
Right.
And if you can day trade,
Mhm.
you know, successfully, you can make a shit ton of money, bro. So kudos to all you guys who are day trading.
Yeah, man.
I have a question. I was wondering, what do you think young producers can do to start educating themselves more on NFT and start educating themselves on what really holds value and why value occurs? Because I feel like people see value as like clout, because, you know, in music industry, value is like clout, like how much clout you got is what gets you to the top. But at the same time, like, how does that develop? Same thing with the NFT space. So I was wondering what you thought about that.
Well, I think clout sort of has a kind of negative connotation in our community. I think that like we associate clout with someone who's trying to become important
Right.
without possessing real authentic reason behind becoming important, right? So it's like I'm important, but as long as the reason is authentic, then I'm not cloud chasing. But if
Right.
I'm important and the reason is cap, then I'm a cloud chaser, right? So
Mm-hmm.
here's the deal. If you're important and there's someone out, I'll go back to the same analogy. If there's someone out there willing to pay, then you are important. That's just the reality. And it doesn't matter if it's authentic or not. Now, it kind of does though, because if you do it without being authentic, the jig is going to be up at some point. And this is what happens with your stock. You know what it does? It goes like this, it goes like that, right? And then the jig is up, and then it goes like
And then
that.
it's over with.
It's over.
It-
It's
it-
But as
over.
long as you're authentic, you can keep doing this,
Mm.
just like Bitcoin. You
Mm.
can keep swimming up like a motherfucking sperm, like the sperm in my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel
Like
you.
the sperm in my wife. You just boom, boom, boom.
Nah, facts. Illmind, I want to hear your take on this. This is, I think, practical advice for anyone, no matter where they're at, even if they're at square one with their music career, artist, producer, photographer, graphic designer, anything you are. I think that you can use NFTs to bet on yourself. And what I mean by that is just start drafting your own collectibles, like, whatever it be, like get a 3D action figure made of yourself, get a Pokemon card made of yourself. If you're a graphic designer, design unlimited pieces and put them out there and give them away for free. Give them away. You can literally, like, people's MetaMasks are public. Like, you can go on these marketplaces, Rarible, Mintable, and you can see people's MetaMask. Or if your fans, your real hardcore fans, give them to them. And consider it a long play, because we haven't talked about how you can set the royalties. So if someone resells this, like say you create, now you did this with yours, correct? And you set a 10% royalty. So for the people listening, if someone decides to resell that Illmind Alorium sample pack NFT down the line, maybe it's worth 10 bands. Well, 10% of that 10,000 is going directly to the original creator, who is Illmind. So use that, remember this, and start minting, give them out. And who knows, 10 years down the line, imagine if NFTs were around when Drake was a nobody and he was betting on himself, giving them away. Imagine what they would be trading for right now and how much passive income he'd be getting from those royalties.
Exactly. And listen, let's I love that you brought that up. Let's not forget this, and this is actually very important. I want everyone to sort of hold this as something that's very important to know. So, when you think of the Charizard card, right? Charizard is so expensive right now, and so many people are willing to pay a premium for it because it consistently gained value over a long period of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did Charizard? When was that card released?
Like, it's from the 90s, right? Yeah, from when I was a kid.
Let's just say it was like 1992. I'm making a year up. That's probably wrong. Charizard dropped in let's say 91. Charizard dropped in 91, 2001, 2011. So that's 30 years ago. So you're talking about a 30-year time span of this particular card dropping, increasing, dropping, increasing. So it stood the test of time, right? And so that's why it's just going to keep trending upward, because it already authenticated itself. The blockchain, so to speak, of this card is so insane that it's permanently minted as something that's going to be very valuable, right? As opposed to the kid who uploads a drum kit. I'll just say, because we're all producers here, a drum kit that they made in 2021, and they're expecting minimum bid $800 minimum bid.
Yeah.
Well, there's you literally your drum kit is an infant, just like mine. Like it was born last week. Like there's no history behind it. There's no proof that people want it, right? So you can't ask for that premium. Maybe you can, a year from now, a little more, or maybe 10, 15 years from now, it can be increase in value depending on what that blockchain looks like. How many people are interested in it? How many people are bidding on it? How many people are talking about it? Right? So that's why blockchain technology is so important. And that's why Charizard is so expensive, because it just has such a long history of authentication and people loving it. And it's just told, the story has been told so many times that it's still very relevant. Right.
Hmm.
And so that's why, Dylan, I think you brought up a good example of, like, if you get into NFTs now, essentially what you're doing is you're betting on yourself. You're betting on your future self. And other people are too, where they're saying, you know what, this random producer here, I'm just going to take a chance. I know they're a nobody, but I'm gonna purchase this NFT from this person at $50, and I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Who knows? The kid might blow up. He might get a Drake placement,
Yeah.
and all of a
Right.
sudden, the NFT is worth twice as much. You know, right? So I made $50 in 10 years. Like, who knows? Like, it's a gamble, but that's what we do. That's what investors do, right? That's what day traders do. They look at things, and the right way to do it is you're investing in things you're passionate about. You're investing in things that you believe in, right? You have to believe in the thing that you put your money into. Otherwise, it's like you're just blindly sort of putting your money in different places without any sort of strategy, right?
Hmm.
So it's the same thing. And when you're a producer, you just want to understand that.
Most definitely, man. And just know, bro, I feel like you need to look at this the same way you look at if you were trying to sell beats on YouTube, if you were trying to upload singles and blow up. Like, bro, just you got to put shit out, put shit out. I'm already having conversations with people, hearing them overthink this shit, trying to be perfectionists. I'm like, bro, just put this shit out. Like, no one knows what the fuck this shit is going to turn into. No one knows, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like, man, just put it out and pay those gas fees, even though they're high. You know what I mean? Put them out
Oh,
and give them away. Give them away. You know, if you're at square one, just bet on yourself. Give them away. Who knows? These are 5-year, 10-year, 20, 30-year plays, like Illmind is saying. Another thing I want to bring up that I think is really dope that people are doing with the NFTs. I seen an artist. His name is Jocks something. Forgive me, the artist, whoever your name is. He put a bid up for. He recorded an original song, and he put it up for auction. He's like, whoever wins this auction, they get this NFT, and that comes with the rights to publish my song and put this song out. And he got like $19,000 for it. And so it's basically that. I think that's really cool. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, yeah. I mean, that sounds awesome, right? But it's like you also have to think too. It's like $19,000 to gain rights to a song, right? Which is good, okay. But then it's, how do I make my $19,000 from this song, right? So do enough people care about that particular artist to be able to put this up on DSPs and make my money back and get a return, based on the
yeah.
quality of the
Well, he
product?
has traction. He has traction. He's not a
Yeah,
nobody.
it does.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that would just be the only thing that I would think about is, if I'm gonna spend 19 bands on this, um, does this person get millions of streams on Spotify? Do they have videos? How many followers do they have? How much could I push this product
Yeah.
to get my money back? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I mean, it's, you make that judgment call yourself, but that's really cool.
New stuff like this, there's always going to be people like, man, how can I? The people that don't have anything going, but they're like, how can I get a bag off this? Like, let's see what happens. It's like, bro, if you can't sell a drum kit for $10, or you can't sell if you can't get 1,000 streams or 10,000 streams on a song, it's like, bro, I don't think you're just gonna get a quick bag off this NFT stuff. So
It's definitely not a quick bag, man. It's not. It's really not. And like, you just have to be willing for things to be volatile, because the whole thing is volatile, guys. Like even Ethereum is volatile. All crypto is volatile, technically, right?
yeah,
And hopefully gas prices decrease over time, but with Ethereum, but all of this stuff is backed on Ethereum anyway. So it's like, if Ethereum crashes, we're all fucked.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a very volatile world, and you just have to be willing to try things and be creative, and like I said earlier, wear those L's. You know what I mean? Like if you want that big reward, you have to also be willing to take those L's too, and move forward with those, and so the payoff is higher. So it's just a judgment call. But yeah, you're right. I implore people to try things. Don't do things for clout. Like there's a million people. There's by next week it'll be quadrupled the
Yeah.
number of digital products. Now what's happening is we're gonna have a bubble.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna go boom, 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 right? And then all of a sudden it's like the authentic NFTs that are actually selling in the market are, in my opinion, I feel are gonna start to sort of rise a little bit, like cream rise to the top. And it's gonna be very unfortunate to see 99.9% of these NFTs take a nosedive.
Yeah.
You just and wasted gas prices and just a loss of income. So you just people have to be careful and understand what they're getting themselves into.
100%, man.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that, like in terms of betting on yourself and standing the test of time. Like, Illmind, have you heard of like NBA Top Shot? How it has like moments.
Yep.
So do you see like, yeah, that's crazy because it got me thinking. Do you think like producers? This is a crazy idea, but you think producers will start documenting sessions of songs or beats they're working on?
That could be dope.
That could be an NFT in itself, and it's like betting on themselves because if that song blows up or if they get bigger, it's like I had the original session or video when they were making that beat.
Yeah, so, yeah, absolutely. If it becomes important, yeah, right. Only if it becomes important, right? If it doesn't become important, then and no one's willing to pay a premium, then it's just there. It's just there, right? Just because it's minted doesn't mean it's cool. It's important, It just people have to decide, right? This is the thing I love about NFTs is it's the real way for the people to decide, right? You can't fake it. You can't say, hey, I got an NFT for 10 bands, come get it. It's the hottest thing on the market. I only did one, right? That's how they try to get you. There's only one. Cool story. Well, let's open it up and let's see how many people are willing to pay this 10 racks, right? Yeah. And if someone does, then you've won the game. Checkmate, right? But if no one bites down, then you played yourself, right? So it's real. It's very real. It's opening the wounds. It's exposing the truth behind value, behind certain things, and I'm loving it because it's forcing all of us to be as authentic as possible.
100%.
I know a lot of guys are probably wondering, okay, where do I go to mint if I want to do this? Mintable is the platform you chose. I was just wondering what led you to go with them.
It's a really cool name. And they're super user friendly. Really, they have a really easy system to use. And it's just really straightforward and really amazing. I love that platform. So, I'm sticking with Mintable for a while.
Dope. I see they just got a big investment from Mark Cuban too, which is really big. So
they did. And let me tell you something. I did not know that.
When you were going into it?
Beforehand. I didn't know beforehand.
Gotcha.
So the fact that I chose the one that Mark put his money into makes me feel pretty good.
Well, that's because you're on your Joe Dispenza shit. So I mean that.
Yeah, I'm like, damn! Out of all these different platforms, man, we chose Team Cuban now. So I'm with it because Cuban is a very smart person, as we all know.
Yeah, facts, man. So shit, bullish on Mintable. I was like, shit, maybe that's the platform to go with, man.
Yeah.
Cool, man. But yeah, man. Shout out to. I didn't give a proper intro, man. Leno and Meek here on the podcast, man. I know you guys at home are definitely already familiar with these guys, man. So with the podcast now, we're just kind of doing like a rotating host schedule, you know what I mean? So we're going to just always switch it up, bring different guys from the team that want to participate in different conversations. So don't think that, oh shit, where's JB and Carrington? You'll definitely, you'll see all the gang in these episodes.
It ain't no replacement. We're just, it's a family, it's a circle thing.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? Let me just say too, as a side note, like, the reason why the minted Beatmaker logo thing that you put out, the NFT, the free NFT you guys put out, the reason why that thing is so cool is because you guys have a track record already, and there's no signs of you guys stopping.
Mm.
Like which you know, if you're out there and you possess one of these Beatmaker NFTs, yeah, hold on to it, because look at these guys. They're not stopping. Like,
Appreciate that, man.
Dylan isn't gonna quit tomorrow. Like,
Nah, fact.
this shit is only gonna keep growing, you know. Like, and you have to be patient. Like, you know,
Crazy.
5 years from now, who knows what these guys are going to be up to, right? So so yeah, man, like, this is a great example. They're setting the example of, you know, something that's a really something that could be really beneficial. Is, you know, there, you guys are building your business in a real way, and people are supporting. So, and that's real, that's authentic, right? You're not faking the clout. This is real. Like, you watch the videos, look at the views, look at the different people we've spoken to, you know, etc. So,
man, we lead
Big
with
facts.
value, and then we retain that value, you know.
Big fact.
yeah, always, man, always.
Dope, man. So let's talk about this new Guapdad project, man.
Well, I was just listening to that. I was actually bumping it now that I knew I was going to interview you today. But man, how did that come about? When did you start, you know, fucking with Guapdad and saying what's good to him? And maybe was that the first song you guys worked on, or do you guys have more that you worked on?
Yeah, so I met Guapdad through this thing called DM.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
We just DM'd each other. I heard some of his songs a couple years back, and I just became a fan. I'm like, yo, this dude Guap is fucking, you know, crazy. Yeah. And you know, we started following each other, and we just started DMing each other. And he was a huge fan of mine as well. And we had booked a session. So I think I was in New York, and I was like, yo, I'm going to LA. You know, let's just get in and cook up. So I had booked a room, and he pulled up, and we started working. And yeah, we just kind of clicked, you know what I mean? And before I like, when I became a fan of his, I didn't know that he was Filipino, right? And he actually didn't know that I was Filipino, which is crazy, when he heard my earlier stuff. And so the fact that we're both, he's half Filipino, half black, but the fact that we're both Filipino just made this whole thing even cooler. You know what I mean? For us.
It's a culture thing now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So we just kept making songs, and over time we were just like, yo, we should just do a project. And he was like, yo, bet, like, let's do it. So here we are, and it's kind of one of those like things that was like a perfect storm, where, you know, 88 Rising, which is like this really, really amazing label in Asia. They put out Joji and all these big people. They have a sister label called Paradise Rising, which represents the Philippines. And so Guapdad and I are the first album to be released on Paradise Rising. So it was just this whole sort of perfect storm of everything. And the album, me and Guapdad's album, drops on March 19th, which is National Lola Appreciation Day, right? So Lola means grandmother in Tagalog.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's you know, it's just kind of a perfect storm, and you know, we're super stoked, and you know, a lot of the storyline behind this project is rooted around, you know, Guap's upbringing, and you know, being from the hood, and all these stories that he tells, and it's turned up as fuck too. You know what I mean? So, and the fact that we're both Filipino, that's sort of part of the story as well. So we're just gonna have fun with it. We're super proud of the album, and the single's doing really well. We have a remix coming out, maybe, with someone you guys might know. I wish I could tell you. It's like a tip of my tongue. I'm like, oh, I want to tell them who. But we have some remixes coming, and we have some more singles, and then the album. So it's just super great, and I'm really stoked about it, because it's the first executive produced Illmind album I'm doing since 2016. Right, it's been 5 years since I've done this. The last one I did was 2016 for Andy Mineo, and it was the Uncomfortable album, and that was a super fun process. And so now I get to do it again with Guap.
Super dope. Have you started connecting with any other artists in the 88 Rising or Paradise Rising realm, and maybe started maybe throwing out beats, or have they started reaching out to you?
Yeah. Awesome. I started talking to Rich Brian a little bit. And
Rich Brian comeback.
yeah. And some other folks, yeah, but I'm sure as time goes by, maybe hopefully something happens.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask you a question too. Just being a parent. So you said you're taking a break. You're taking a break for a couple months. In that time, do you have certain projects that you uphold, or what I'm saying? Of course, your family is priority, I would imagine, but at the same time, how are you going to balance kind of what you're doing, especially since the sale with the NFT thing? How are you trying to balance all of that incoming stuff while being a brand new father?
It's really, for me, it's really just like Zoom calls like this
Yeah.
and doing cool things online. I'm not really making music. I'm not streaming. I'm not going to sessions. I'm not going anywhere. I'm basically home. So, and I'm with my family, So, in terms of work, it's really more just sort of on and off things that I'm doing. But the cool thing about the NFT space, it couldn't have come at a perfect time because it's very easy to do and execute on this little device right here. So I can have the strap with my baby here, and I can launch minting fucking NFTs in one hand and burping on the other.
That's so G, bro.
Yeah, this is me. This is me tomorrow like this. Okay, what are we doing here?
Facts, though.
Oh yes, Mintable. Yes, guys, listen, guys.
This guy's dope.
So, and any when's the next drop coming, man?
Some point soon. I have the next thing I'm launching is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm really proud of it. It's something brand new. Something that relatively high risk, I'll say, but something I'm really excited about, and we're fine tuning it right now. So hopefully at some point soon, but it's going to be on Mintable again, and it'll be under BidPacks, my new NFT brand. I kind of took that from the auction thing and sort of injected the NFT part into it, and now it's just packs. So if you guys want to follow any and all of my NFT stuff, just follow BidPacks, BidPacks, on Instagram, BidPacks, and you'll see everything there, or just follow me wherever. But yeah, we got some cool stuff coming.
Sounds good, bro, man. Cool, man. We appreciate your time, man. We appreciate the NFT sauce. I definitely am glad we got to do this. I was like, bro, like I really want to educate the music producer community on this ASAP, so like we can be kind of on the cutting edge. Appreciate you for doing it. You know what I mean? Because if you wouldn't have done that, who knows? Maybe it wouldn't even be a conversation in the music producer community yet. So big stuff, man, and definitely hope we educate it.
Absolutely. And let me say this too: if you are to kind of end it off, if you're going to release a sample pack or drum kit on NFT and mint it and sell it or auction off, whatever, and if you're if you're giving exclusive rights to the buyer, just 100% make sure that everything is original, because in that space, if you get caught up with a copyright lawsuit or something in that particular space, I don't know the answer to that, but it could get pretty weird. Right? The legal implications from that could get pretty crazy, to the point where you get black sheeped, and you could never sell an NFT for the rest of your life in that space, and all of a sudden your chances of being involved in NFT become extinct because you're kind of outcasted for selling a non-authentic product. So just be careful of that, especially with sample packs. Could get a little blurry. Drum kits could get a little blurry. We've seen it happen time and time again. So we just have to make sure everything, even down to the artwork. Like you put something from Shutterstock on that shit. Motherfucker, you better, you know what I mean?
Shutterstock don't play. They ain't gonna
you better
play.
make sure it's you better make sure your ducks are in a row, because if that thing takes off to the moon and you have a copyright on there that you shouldn't have used, it can get a little weird. So just be careful.
Most definitely, man.
Yeah.
Blessings, King. Appreciate you so much, man.
Thank you, man.
Oh, God,
Yeah, of
man.
course. I'm here, man. I'm about to go, change a diaper.
Yeah,
Sounds good,
burp
bro.
some babies. You know what I'm saying?
Do some burger.
Appreciate you once again, man.
Yeah, of course.
Signing
Peace
out.
out, man.
Bye, guys. Later.